Let's talk about NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who has made his pitch to President Trump for the U.S. to stay in the alliance. The two met in the Oval Office yesterday. President Trump has repeatedly criticized NATO allies for what he calls a lack of support in the war with Iran. The conflict will likely be a key topic of conversation when NATO leaders meet in Turkey next month. CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us now to talk about it. So did this meeting sway the president at all when it comes to NATO, Aaron?
Not really. And you really saw an attempt by the NATO Secretary General to flatter President Trump as he has in the past. At one point, he brought up charts that showed the increase in defense spending from countries in Europe and had it titled the Trump trillion. And he went over and pointed to it and talked to reporters. But President Trump, in his remarks in the Oval Office, still laid out his anger with some European countries for not doing enough to help the U.S. at the beginning of this war with Iran, especially when it came to the Strait of Hormuz. He named the U.K., France, Germany, Spain in particular. And you only saw a little bit of pushback from the NATO Secretary General, where he said there are isolated cases where Europe did not give Trump what he wanted. But then he pointed to the U.S. launching thousands of planes from European bases for this war. Take a listen to what the two leaders said yesterday.
We were let down. We didn't need help on this at all. We demolished them in literally the first week. But it would have been nice if they would have said, we'd like to help.
He is completely committed to the NATO alliance, but he is also absolutely clear, as always. This is the great strength of this president. So he was always clear, I'm committed to the NATO alliance. But I expect allies to spend more, to equalize with the United States.
Now, the president said he is still planning to attend the NATO summit in Turkey early next month in July, but said he's only doing so at the request of the Turkish President Erdogan.
So, Aaron, after Trump's meeting with Rutte, the president hosted a campaign-style rally to kick off America 250. What happened there?
Yeah, for something that was supposed to be the start of a pretty nonpartisan celebration of America's 250th anniversary, it was like a regular campaign stump speech from the president. He was bringing up his argument for the Iran war, saying that it is, quote, over, it is done, and that they have eradicated Iran's ability to have a nuclear weapon. He also made the promise of gas going down to $2.50 a gallon now that the strait is reopened, though, as you were talking about earlier this hour, that is likely to take some time. But he seemed most animated when talking about the renovations in D.C., from the White House ballroom to the removal of homeless encampments and to the reflecting pool, which he made sure to point out to the crowd at his event last night.